everybody ready to start again?
Is everybody ready? Good. The candidates for the City Council election are Tawanda Brown, Bill Warren, and Jimmy Lopez. We've determined by a coin toss that they'll respond in this order. Are questions coming in? People thinking of questions? Good, good. We'll begin with the opening statements then, and Ms. Brown will go first.
Yeah, that's because I lost this one. Good evening, and thank you all for coming. I wish we had a larger turnout, but I'm glad you're here and you've made time in your busy schedule. Thank you, League of Women Voters, for having us and coming faithfully and doing this. I don't know how you ladies manage to pull this off on a regular basis. I've lived in Ingram off and on for a very long time. Started coming in the early 80s to visit, moved here, moved away, and moved back. But I've been a regular Ingram resident since 2003. I just was named to the council a month ago, so I have 2 council meetings under my belt. So I'm still learning what's going on, and that's it.
Mr. Warren, would you go next?
Well, I've been a resident of Ingram for 28 years. I worked with Hill Country Telephone, been with them for 24 years. I was married to my wife for 40 years. 40 years, I've raised 4 children here. They've all attended Ingram High School and graduated. They're all out on their own. So I'm nobody else at the house. But I'm also retired with the Texas National Guard. Also worked with them for 13 years on civil service. And I want to, like I said, I became a candidate here because I want to try to help and do the best I can to serve the citizens of Ingram and try to get their trust like we're trying to get trust. I'd like to see a lot more come to our meetings and give their output because I want to work for the citizens of Ingram. We do. We have a lot of problems here in Ingram, and I want to be their problem solver and try to help rectify everything that we can. I know it's going to be a long struggle, but hopefully we can get this accomplished.
Mr. Lopez.
My name is Jim Lopez. Been living here in Ingram for the past 29 years. Been married for 40. Had my own business. Had 2 kids that graduated from Ingram Tomwoman. And all I want to do is, if I get voted again, to do the best that I can for the citizens of Ingram and to work with the council. Thank you.
Thank you. Question number 1, we'll start with Mr. Warren. Is the trust of the people and businesses important to you? And if so, what are you going to do to get it back?
I think the trust with the people and the citizens of Ingram is very important. Like I say, there's been a lot of businesses come into Ingram. We've got some new ones that moved into Old Ingram Loop. And it brings in, people love to come in and shop at a lot of these stores, and it helps their revenue, and it also helps the city create revenue to, like I said, to help roads and stuff. I think, like I said, the best thing we can do is try to interact with the citizens of Ingram and try to gain their trust back. There have been a lot of them that we've lost, and we just need to prove to them that, like I said, we're out to make change, and we want to change with them to help us make that change.
Mr. Lopez, is the trust of the people and businesses important to you? And if so, what are you going to do to get it back?
All I can say is that keep doing what we're doing, trying to fix our roads, fix our sewer systems, and talk to the people, citizens. Try try and get them back, that's all. Thank you.
Ms. Brown?
I think that what we've been doing has been very compartmentalized, and we need to try to include everyone. And by that I mean the citizens and the business people. I think that if we have some community events that are both fun and educational, then we can start getting people to know what's going on in the city and how we need their help. And I think we can look at a lot of different ways of doing that, having events that different groups or different families would be interested in. And the business people need to know that we want their input. I think there's a lot of animosity, and they just think that they've been left out there in the cold. And so I think we need to work at having some events that bring people together.
Thank you. For question 2, we should begin with Mr. Lopez. This question is really phrased as 2 statements, so I'm going to guess what the question really is. I think it's about a forensic audit. Do you think a forensic audit would be a good idea?
I would say yes.
Would you like to elaborate on that? Okay. Ms. Brown?
I agree, we need a forensic audit. I think we've had a lot of turnover at City Hall. 8 or 9 clerks in the last couple of years, in addition to our management. We've had 3 city administrators. I really think that it's time to look at the bottom line and see where we're at. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Brown, you should start first on question 3.
Mr. Warren.
Oh.
That's all right. No, I think a forensic audit would be adequate. Like I said, I'd like to get maybe a professional opinion on it if it's feasible to do it. I know we probably need one, but I would, we've got audits that are going. If they go back and actually pick up everything that is in question, make sure we've done it right. I believe we do probably go ahead and need a forensic audit.
Thank you. Now, Ms. Brown starts on question 3. Should ordinances be enforced without citizens having to call in?
Well, it's sort of a trick question because we all have ordinances that we would like to have enforced, and then we have ordinances that a lot of people don't care so much about, because we have a lot of ordinances on the books right now. So I think we need to probably look at our ordinances and determine which ones need to stay and which ones maybe are not as important to the citizens of Ingram. Should they be enforced if our officers see something that they know is an ordinance violation? Yes, they should deal with that without having to wait for a citizen to call it.
Mr. Warren?
I think ordinance should be enforced. I think if we make a fresh ordinance, I think it should be put in the newspaper and publicized so people know about it. Maybe put it out in the public in some kind of a newsletter or something to notify the public of an ordinance that has been brought up. Maybe have a grace period of 30 days or whatever, and then start enforcing to give people time to know about the ordinances in place.
Mr. Lopez?
Can you repeat the question?
Sure. Should ordinances be enforced without citizens having to call in?
I would say the citizens should get involved. And at the same time, if an officer sees that something's not being done correctly, take advantage of it or take care of it, or report it to their superiors. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Mr. Warren, we'll start with you on question 4. What do you think is the most important thing the city can do for the citizens?
Fix the roads. I think the roads are they really need some work. I mean, the last time I've seen, a lot of the roads haven't been paved in probably 20 years. We are paving some of them. I'd like to see a good program if the city takes it on. And like I say, it's going to be a long-term process. Plus, like I say, it would probably be a great thing for that and probably get finish our sewer system, which should be completed within the next year or so. So that should take relief off some.
Mr. Lopez?
Well, one's the roads, one's the septic systems. And also, to fix roads takes money. Citizens don't want the taxes raised, so what do? You know, that's a question that we need to ask our citizens too. How are you going to do all this with no money? If there's no money. Thank you.
Ms. Brown?
I'm going to agree, roads are probably our biggest priority. And back to what we were speaking about earlier about citizen involvement. If we could get folks to come in and talk with us about, or we can go out to them, however it's going to work, and get people to let us know what's most important and how we can help them and how they can help us, then we're all going to be in a better situation.
Mr. Lopez, this question goes to you first. Do you think city officials should be held to a higher standard?
Yes. Thank you.
Ms. Brown?
I think no, because I think everyone is equal, and I think that people who are serving on the council are doing it as a volunteer effort, and I don't think that means they're held to a higher standard. They're the same as everybody else. If you're speaking about our officers, they already are by their own colleagues held to a higher standard. Just depends on exactly who you mean when you say that.
Mr. Warren?
I think we need to be kept to a higher standard because the citizens of Ingram put their trust in us when they elect us for these positions. I think we ought to be able to give them the confidence that we can give them and full trust as we are actually taking care of the city for them. And with their help, I mean, so they're going to hold us to a higher standard because we are making the changes that need to be made for the city. Thank you.
For the next question, we need to start with Ms. Brown. Do you think trash in yards is a problem in Ingram?
I think there are places in England where it's a problem. I know that our officers try to talk to people, and I think that that's the right approach, because if you're, driving down the road and you see something and you call it in, or if an officer is driving down the road and sees it, and they come up and knock on your door, then it's handled. And I think then if it's not handled, then there's a process for that. But mostly I think that, it can be handled on a person-to-person basis.
Mr. Warren?
There's places in Ingram that, yes, the yards look kind of trashy and they've got old cars and stuff parked in the way. It could possibly lead to a health problem because you may have animals staying around the trash or in old cars. It either needs to be cleaned up or it needs to be put a fence where it blocks, because it does block the beauty of making Ingram looking beautiful. I mean, it's not really appealing for somebody to drive in Ingram and see wrecked cars standing in the front yard. Nobody will want to come here. So I think we probably need to address that and try to help clean up some of these areas.
Mr. Lopez?
would say that we, all of us, would try to keep our places, our yards clean, no matter what. If you can't do it on your own, ask. Ask for help. Ask the city. Ask somebody. That's what I would do if I had a dirty yard. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Warren, what can we do to bring more businesses to Ingram?
Promote Ingram, and like I say, is a nice place. Our taxes, lower tax rate, try to, with our services that we can provide, that we've got a reasonable amount as far as our utilities and stuff. Try to make it, because a lot of people come, a lot of people retire here, but just try to build Ingram up as a nicer place to want to live.
Mr. Lopez, what can we do to bring more businesses to Ingram?
Well, I would say advertise, talk to people, talk to friends, and try to promote whatever we can for them. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Brown?
Businesses in Ingram, for the most part, the owners of those businesses belong to different professional organizations, and I think that they talk among themselves about where they want to put their business and where they want to do business. And I think if we are improving our situation with our current businesses, that will bring in more businesses.
Mr. Lopez, do you have ideas to help bring our community together?
I would say if we have more committees, more citizens getting involved, more communication, more trust. Thank you.
Ms. Brown?
To get more people involved in Ingram, the council and the city government has got to reach out to people. We have to be where they are. We need to come to events held at the elementary school, that are at the high school. We need to set up a booth. We need to be available to answer questions. We need to answer the uncomfortable questions, and we need to be out there and be seen. And then we're more involved, and they'll be reciprocating and be more involved back.
Mr. Warren?
Well, I'd like to see more involvement with the city, even have like town meetings or whatever to get their input, to make them a part of Ingram and listen to their concerns and ideas, and make it where they know the council is there for them and that we can help them. And if they got to come to us, or we have, like I say, town meetings where they can express their opinion to us, so we'll know how to help them.
Ms. Brown, what is the best way to get involved with the city council?
Come to meetings. Everybody here does, so I'm talking to the wrong group. Come to meetings. I mean, I can't say that enough. If you would put it in the paper every day and put it on the radio every day. That is right now the only way that you can really be heard. Come and speak during visitors forum. Tell them what you want, tell them what you like, what you don't like, what you think should be the solutions, because we need solutions. We don't just need the problems, we need solutions too. So come to council, talk to council members, call the city administrator. He is an open man who wants to talk to people.
Mr. Warren?
Like I say, we need their input, and the city administrator is one that's there. You can voice your opinion to him, and like I said, we can just talk to the people. Like I said, I'm in agreement with having more people come to the city council meeting. We need to pack all the seats we can, and just get everybody involved. We we're like I said, people just don't have the trust in us, and we need to win their trust back. So maybe, hopefully they could come to the meetings and find out that we are truly there for them. And hopefully we can get them to come and voice their opinion to us.
Mr. Lopez,
Repeat the question.
what is the best way to get involved with the city council?
Let's see. Come to them, talk to us, bring a friend, or bring a bunch of friends, and ask questions, give them the agenda, and make yourself count. Thank you.
I have just one more question, and it's a good summing up question. Mr. Warren answers first, I think. Why are you running for city council?
I am running for the citizens of Ingram. I want to be their voice in all matters. I want to be able to show them that I care for each one in the city of Ingram, and that I want to be their voice and take care of the problems that we have. I want to be their problem solver as much as I can.
Mr. Lopez, why are you running for city council?
That's a good question. Really and truly, I have enjoyed this past 6, 7, 8 months. I've enjoyed working with the people that are right now there. I'm going to say we all communicate, and I give a lot of credit to Mr. Roman for the time he's been there. I believe that we are doing good, regardless if I get voted or not, but I believe that we're going to do good here the next year, 3, 4, 5 years. No matter what, I still believe we got a good council there and a good person that's ahead of us. Thank you, ma'am.
Ms. Brown. Ms. Brown.
I love Ingram, and that's the reason I'm running for council, because I am concerned about what's been happening. I think changes are happening now that are very positive, and I would like to be a part of that and help in any way I can. Thank you.
Are there any more questions, ladies and gentlemen? Then we'll move to the closing statements. Ms. Brown, will you begin?
I'd like to thank everybody for coming. I think that as you've seen tonight with the questions that you've asked, there are a lot of concerns, and there are some good things that are happening. And maybe you don't see the good things because they're very, very new. We're only talking a couple of months that things have started to change in Ingram. But I assure you they are, and I want to be part of that change, so I would appreciate your vote very much. Thank you.
Mr. Warren.
Well, I appreciate everybody coming, and your questions are very good. You've opened up a lot of questions that could continue on things that need to be done. There is a lot of work to be done here in Ingram, and I would like to be one there, if you vote for me, to be there to help solve these problems and move on. I know the roads need fixing, it's going to take time, but we can do everything we can to get those. And it also, the sewer system will be great when it's finished. It also helps each resident in Ingram, it helps them get back a little more of their property because they don't have the septic system to block them from utilizing more space. But I would love to be the one on there, like I said, to try my best and to get your confidence and your vote to be able to continue the work that you have with your problems, and I want to be your problem solver. Thank you.
Mr. Lopez.
I'll make it brief. I know I've been trying to work, trying to learn. have worked with everybody. And the only thing you can say is try to get the people united and work all together. That's my goal. If I have to work a little harder, I'll just have to do it. And thank you all for being here. Thanks for your questions. Thank you.
I want to thank you too, all for participating, for coming to the forum. As you walk out, think about getting on our email list, helping with our fundraiser, join in the league. Always be glad to have you. Men join the League of Women Voters too. Thank